when you looked at Big Ramy when he came in? Let's start with Ramy since he's the biggest name in the room right now. What did you see? Did you see anything? I mean, when you examined him and he told you what was going on, like what was the, if you can talk about this, what was the main thing that you noticed? You know, that
yeah, no, because he talked about it public, like we did post about it, so I can talk about it. And the biggest thing was he was basically saying like he felt like his muscles weren't firing properly, and that he noticed some atrophy. And then he also felt like he was having some areas of pain as well, like near his triceps, and then he noticed some dents in his quads. Like he felt like there was actually defects there. I think some people noticed that as well, right? And so there's a lot going on. I was kind of like, this is weird. There's a lot here, you know. So how do I make sense of this? So I got like basically a full body MRI because I had to figure out, you know, from imaging wise, like what's the root cause here. And his MRI of his spine and his brain, everything came back pretty clear. So it wasn't anything neurological. So if it's not like anything neurological, then it's kind of like, okay, you know, what's really going on? And so to me, based off my experience and everything, I kind of deduced that it has to do with the communication between his cells. For whatever reason, his nerves aren't conducting and firing the way they should be. And it's not a big structural problem because not like he has a huge disc herniation or a mass in his brain or something like that. Why don't they communicate? Why isn't the signals being sent properly? So there's a lot of potential reasons, but by far the most common is inflammation, like chronic inflammation around the nerve, meaning it affects how the cells are communicating with one another. So then how do we get rid of that inflammation? And so that's where stem cells come in. And so of course you can't inject stem cells everywhere, but you can do them intravenously. And so that's kind of how we think. So it's funny because a lot of it actually just comes back to the gut, and because the gut is where 70% of your immune system is. So if you come back to that, a lot of that is where it's rooted in. And of course, people have protocols to restore the gut and stuff, but someone like, you know, Ramy, who's a high level athlete, he needs to get back on stage as fast as possible. So that's why doing the intravenous stem cells make the most sense, because it's going to reduce inflammation around the gut, and it's going to reduce inflammation around the nerves, and it's going to help to restore that communication. And it's funny because after I did that for him, I've had like at least 10 other people who've been like, I have the same problem.